Did you know that your thumbnail might be killing your video before anyone even reads the title? And the scary part is you probably think that the content is the problem. Your thumbnail is the first thing that YouTube shows to a cold audience before they ever decide whether to click your video or not. And most creators spend hours on their content and about 12 minutes on their thumbnail. Here's the problem. YouTube is watching exactly how cold audiences react to your thumbnail in real time. And if they scroll past without clicking, YouTube takes that as a signal that your video does not deserve to be shown to more people. And that's a big problem. Your thumbnail is not just a design choice, it's the first test your video has to pass. And most are failing it before anyone even reads the title. Stay with me. Here is what's actually happening when YouTube tests your video. The moment you click publish, YouTube takes your thumbnail and title and shows them together to a small test group, starting with your most recently engaged subscribers first, then expanding to cold audiences through suggested. That test group does not read your description. They don't know what your video's about. They see one thing, your thumbnail and your title side by side. And in under 2 seconds, they decide whether to click or scroll. And YouTube watches that decision in real time. High click-through rate, YouTube expands distribution and shows your video to more people. Makes sense. Low click rate, YouTube pulls back and your video flatlines. Your thumbnail isn't decoration. It's the first data point YouTube uses to decide whether your video deserves to exist on this platform. And most creators are designing thumbnails for their subscribers only, people who already know and trust them. We need to go beyond that. Instead of designing for the cold stranger who has never heard of them and needs a reason to stop scrolling. Here's why most thumbnails fail. This is important. They are designed to look good instead of designed to create a specific emotion in under 2 seconds. There's a massive difference between those two things. A thumbnail that looks good, is clean, well lit, nicely composed. A thumbnail that passes the cold audience test creates an immediate fear, curiosity, or disbelief in someone who has never seen your face before. Cold audience don't click because a thumbnail looks professional. They just don't. They click because something in that thumbnail makes them feel something before they even process what they are looking at. And that includes the title. The channels that consistently hit high suggested click-through rate, the number that tells you cold audiences are clicking, all have thumbnails built around one emotional trigger, not multiple messages, not cluttered text. One clear emotion that hits a stranger in under, well, you probably know the answer to this, in 2 seconds. When your thumbnail and title are pulling in two different emotional directions, cold audiences, they feel the confusion and they scroll past. That mismatch is one of the most common reasons suggested CTR stays stuck under 3%. And it's almost always a title problem, not a thumbnail problem. So let me just explain this real quickly. Your thumbnail's job is to stop the scroll. But in order to even get to where people are seeing your thumbnail, you need to have a title because the title is going to signal the algorithm and it's going to find your audience. Now, if we don't have that right, the thumbnail is not going to matter either way. We spend a ton of time studying proven outlier titles, the framework, and what has worked for our channels and for our students. And I've actually put together a swipe file of 10 of our top outlier title hooks. If you'd like a copy of that, just comment hooks down below and I'll send it to you. This is 10 of our top outlier titles. I've actually created templates so you can plug these into almost any niche. If you'd like a copy of that, just go ahead and comment hooks down below and I'll send it to you. Because here's the deal. Fixing your thumbnail while keeping a weak title, well, it still loses the cold audience test. Now, there are 3 thumbnail mistakes I want to cover here that are silently killing your suggested click-through rate right now. So let's get into them. Mistake number 1, too much text. You don't have to put so much text on that screen. Most creators put 3 to 5 words on their thumbnail because they want to make sure the viewer understands what the video is about. But cold audiences are not reading your thumbnail. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. They are feeling it. Every word you add after the first 2 or 3 reduces the emotional impact. If your thumbnail requires reading, it has already lost the cold audience test. All right, mistake number 2. Your face is not doing anything. A talking head photo with a neutral expression is the most common thumbnail on YouTube. You're not going to stand out, and it's completely invisible to cold audiences. Your expression needs to communicate the emotion of the video. Give them a reason to click before anyone reads a single word. You can use shock, you can use fear, you can use disbelief, you can use confusion. That expression is doing the heavy lifting for cold audiences who do not know you yet. All right, mistake number 3. The thumbnail works for your niche, but not for strangers. Pick one that goes best with that title and build the entire thumbnail around delivering that emotion as fast as possible. One expression, one visual element, maximum of 2 to 3 words of text. And that will amplify the emotion rather than explain it. All right, number 2, this one's super simple. Test your thumbnail on someone who has not seen your content before. Show it to a person outside your niche for 3 seconds and ask them, what do they feel? Not necessarily what they think the video is about, what they feel. If they can't name a clear emotion in like 3 seconds, your thumbnail is failing the cold audience test before YouTube even runs it. All right, number 3, match your thumbnail emotion to your title. Your title creates the intellectual hook, your thumbnail creates the emotional hook. When both are pointing at the same feeling, cold audiences get a double signal that this video is worth clicking. That alignment is what separates a 2% suggested click-through rate from a 6% suggested click-through rate. And that matters. The creators who consistently break through on YouTube are not the ones with the best cameras or the most experience. They are the ones who figured out how to pass the cold audience test every single time they upload. And that test starts with the thumbnail before anyone reads a single word. And when your suggested CTR climbs, YouTube starts betting bigger on every video you post. Now, if you want to understand exactly how YouTube decides whoever gets to see your thumbnail in the first place, well, I recorded a video right here that shows you exactly how to connect this directly to everything we just covered and how you can implement it. Watch that video next, and I'll see you there.